Is this a surprise that we see more price cutting from Tesla in China?
Yeah, we may have thought that we were done in China. You mentioned off the top sort of signs of abating. We even had a sort of curious announcement of an agreement among manufacturers to kind of call a truce, and that lasted all of a couple of days. I think what we learned in the sort of following weeks was, from Elon Musk himself talking about this idea that, price cuts, he would not rule out continuing to bring pricing down. He specifically was citing interest rates. I think rather than that being a factor in China, it's more a factor of just, the amount of competition in that market, how competitive it is, how crowded it is, and how much the Chinese manufacturers in particular have really proven strong. I think BYD in particular is really bringing up an awful lot of volume and creating a lot of competitive pressure for Tesla to have to answer.
Right. It's really interesting to look at the way that the competitive pressure is the same and also different in different geographies. So why is there so much pricing pressure from this competitive environment then in China?
I think we're seeing a pattern of sort of, as costs come down, as input costs come down. We saw the last couple of years, not only the semiconductor crisis putting some pressure on companies, but also raw materials for batteries. So lithium and nickel prices in particular really being a difficult challenge for these companies to work through. Those prices have come back down. We've seen, with China having this huge lead in terms of getting a battery supply chain up and running, we tend to see, as prices come down, China, price is able to come down first. And so perhaps we see that spread to other markets.
So perhaps that spreads, which is interesting in terms of read across into Europe and elsewhere. So we've seen this weighing on the share prices of some of the manufacturers in China. Is there hope that this stabilizes just briefly then, Craig, from here?
If you're looking at Tesla, I think the big sort of reason for hope in the next few months is Tesla did announce that this quarter they were going to take some downtime at their plants globally, and so there's some hope that that is related to factory upgrades to make new versions of the Model 3. If they have some fresher product, perhaps that can support stronger prices.